Welcome our beloved viewer of Uganda Catholic Television, Good News for All. Thank you for loving our television. Thank you for being a good viewer of our television. This is wonderful. Every time I see that the number of viewers is increasing day after day, I feel so good because we are able to communicate directly with you, our beloved viewer. Thank you for choosing Uganda Catholic Television, Good News for All. I welcome you to our program, Responsible Citizenship, Responsible Leadership. This is a program brought to you from the Justice and Peace Department of the Uganda Episcopal Conference, here direct from Zambia. And in the studios tonight, my name is Kiiza Emmanuel ALIBA, and I'm the Executive Secretary of the Justice and Peace Department here at the Catholic Secretariat. I am also the Chairman of the Board of Directors of Microfinance Support Center. So I send greetings to my fellow members of the board, the senior management, and all the staff of Microfinance Support Center. I am also the chairman of the board of trustees of the Uganda Girl Guides Association. So wherever you are, my beloved girls, the Girl Guides, I send you greetings. I am the former Prime Minister of Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom. Actually, I'm the youngest Prime Minister that kingdom has ever had. I became Prime Minister at the age of 33, the youngest. So I send warm greetings to all the subjects of the Omukama of Bunyoro Kitara. I'm also the chairman of Hoima Public Library. I love being, I love those who go to read there in the public library. It is one of the best public libraries in the country, Hoima Public Library. I'm the chairman there. I can go on and on and on and keep introducing myself, which I rarely do, but I'm doing it for a purpose today because I'm coming with a topic which is very interesting: leadership in the Catholic Church. Leadership in the Catholic Church. Because our program is called Responsible Citizenship, Responsible Leadership. Because of that, we really have to take the issue of leadership in the Catholic Church seriously. We understand it well, we understand its roots, and also we who are involved in the leadership of the church at all levels, we get to know what is the nature of the leadership in the Catholic Church. I am doing this purposefully because many of our dioceses have just elected their lay leadership. However, we did the elections, I think, two or 3 weeks back. Now we have a new lay leader, the head of laity, Mr. John Mary Kisembo, who is the husband of our woman member of parliament for Kibale, Honorable Noelina Kisembo. So when you hear Honorable Noelina Kisembo, Kisembo is husband's name. So now he's our head of laity. I was seeing yesterday that in the Masaka diocese, there was also a ceremony of swearing in of a new lay leader, the head of laity of Masaka diocese. And so many dioceses. This is why I come today in a very specific way to look at leadership of the church, a layman's language, how I understand it. Because I have done it. I started leadership in the church when I realized that I'm on earth. So right from primary school, I was reading, I would take readings in the church. I was a member of the choir. From P5, I was a member of the choir. Even up to now, I am a member of the choir. My choir is Our Lady of Lourdes Cathedral Choir, which sings, which animates the 9 o'clock Mass. That is where you'll find me, my wife, and children. We sing in that choir. And sometimes I conduct the choir. Except now I'm getting old. I have some young men and women who are doing it. But once in a while they push me and they want to see me conducting the choir. So I do conduct. Imagine seeing a Prime Minister of Bunyoro conducting a choir. People are so happy. And I see them singing with zeal and so on. So this leadership in the Catholic Church. We shall trace it from the Old Testament. God has never left his people without leaders. And that is why you hear the names of Abraham, the names of Isaac, right from Adam. Adam was given that responsible leadership, and Eve. Isaac, Jacob. You hear the kings, Saul, David, Solomon. All these were leaders of God's people. You hear the prophets, Daniel, Hosea, Isaiah. All these were leaders in the different categories, of God's people. And they did a great role. They did a great role. I remember one time Moses suffered because the congregation was becoming too big and he could not manage it, the whole congregation. So he was advised by his father-in-law. Say, you get some 72 guys among these people. Let them help you in leadership. I think he must have felt very relieved. Sometimes you have so many things to do. You have to go here, this one is. But then when you get such a good advice, so good leadership listens to advice. That is, so Moses was advised by his father-in-law. I think he must have said, now my son-in-law is going to collapse because the work is too much on his head. He's overloaded. So he took the advice and they got good leaders for the people, and the work of God continued. Including the New Testament. There were leaders. John the Baptist. I liked mainly the leadership of Jesus. The style of leadership of Jesus. I liked it so much. And sometimes I also use it. Jesus had the crowds. He was leading the crowds. And the crowds would follow him wherever he would go. But he also had the 72. Among the crowd, he had the 72 whom he sent two. I don't know why the 72, he sent them two. The theologians will do that. I'm not a theologian, but I can be a good student of theology because I did some bit of theology. Then on top of the 72, Jesus also had the 12. Those who were called disciples, and later they became apostles. And on top of the 12, he had the 3 whom he went with the mountain where he was transfigured, and they saw the real glory of Christ transfigured. The 3. And on top of the 3, he had 1 whom he left the keys to, Peter. Now, you can see at every level, Jesus was very strategic. I love Jesus. Very strategic. He had 1 whom he trusted and left the keys with. He had 3 whom he loved so much. And I think one of them, even when you see the crucifixion, the resurrection, you see the 3 very active. He had the 72. Then he had the crowds. And each would receive different messages. The message the three received at the mountain is not the message the crowds received. Different messages. But all of them were God's people. All of them. So I liked that style of leadership. And fellow leaders, you adapt that style of leadership in society. Have the 1, have the 3, have the 12, have the 72, but also have the crowd. The multitudes, those he fed, 5,000 without counting children and women. And I know in every gathering the women and children are more than the men. So they must have been more than 10,000. They were. And imagine, he could go preach to the crowds, but then when he would come into the house with the 12, then they start asking him, but our master, you taught about the parable of the seed, this falling in thorns, this, what did you mean, sir? Master, what did you mean? Now, if the 12 are getting now deeper insights, then they have a different mission. So, if you are a head of laity of any diocese, please identify among the lay people. Have the 1, have the 3, have the 12, have the 72, and also have the crowd. This was a clear style of leadership of Jesus. And I would wish that all our lay leaders in our church, we adopt the style of our master, Jesus. Things will go very well. Things will go very well. You know, you should have some people you confide, you know, you trust, should be very close to you. And they should have more information. They should have more responsibility than the crowds. So those who will help you, the style of leadership of Jesus. And I saw even when the apostles had a gap, you know, Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus, committed suicide. So the apostles immediately saw a gap, and they had to cast lots so that they replace the person who had died, so that the number 12 remains. Even in the Acts of the Apostles, when the apostles could not manage preaching and then serving the orphans and the widows food, they had to elect 7 deacons. 7 deacons, they had to elect them. They said they were full of the Holy Spirit. That's another item for a good leader. Full of the Holy Spirit. The 7 deacons. So the 7 deacons started giving food to the widows and, you know, as the apostles are concentrating on the main theme. I think it was, there was a philosopher called, I think it was John Thorndike. John Thorndike. You can Google what we call figure on ground principle. Figure on ground principle. Figure on ground principle says in every situation, there is always a figure and there is always the ground. The ground supports the figure. For example, I am here, I'm wearing a gray shirt and a gray pair of trousers, but I am here. You cannot say, hey, you see that gray shirt. No, it is ALIBA, not the gray shirt, not the trousers. These are supporting me to be presentable in the studio. So the shirt and the pair of trousers are the ground. And the figure is me, ALIBA. So in every situation, our wonderful leaders who have been elected always look for a figure and treat it with a lot of attention and use the ground to support the figure. I see some people failing to get, concentrating on details. I like the Bunyoro saying, The Bunyoro have got a saying. Literally it is, when you bury your mother, you don't sleep on the graveyard crying after burial. In Runyoro we say, Nazi kanyina tarara hachituro. That when you bury your mother, if you are wise, immediately come, join society and learn to live without a mother. Because he has buried. Even if you sleep there crying, you're wasting your own time. You are increasing your own stress. The mother is dead. I like the Uganda women here. When we go down to bury, after burial of their beloved one, they rush very fast to serve their husbands so that the husbands go they don't go with an empty stomach. They immediately clean their face and tears and they start serving immediately as if the mother is not dead or is not buried. This is the leader that would like to have. In every situation, you ensure that you are on top of the game. Every situation, you are on top of the game. You take charge. A leader has to take charge. A leader has to take charge. Don't wait for the appointment letter or start. In the Catholic Church, once a bishop announces you or you are elected, just start. The rest will find you on the way as you are going. I remember when Hoima Diocese was leading in Amugongo, the bishop announced me as the chair of the entire organizing committee. Immediately, as soon as he announced me, I went into my office. I drafted a concept on how I'm going to lead the people to have a successful Namugongo. I wrote a concept and took it to my bishop. I said, this is what we are going to do. We are going to form these various committees. These will be the roles of the committees. The people we should have, each committee should have one from the diocese and one who lives outside the diocese, but from, we call it Hoidera. If one is chairperson, the other one should be vice, so that we all work together. So that concept pleased my bishop so much. Why? As soon as I was announced that I'm the overall chairman, automatically. But again, I had to move together with, he's now our Vicar General. By then he was a pastoral coordinator, Monsignor Robert Mugisa. Monsignor Robert Mugisa, we would at all times consult each other. Father, can we do this? You would also consult, Doctor, I've had this thing taking place. Can we solve it this way? We consult each other. We were a team, a formidable team. So we were able to have a very successful celebration. What I'm saying is, once you are elected, once you are announced, once you are sworn in, start. Leadership in the Catholic Church is not about feeling big, coming in the church and everybody stands. No. Leadership in the Catholic Church is service, taking charge, giving all that you have, the mind, the soul, the body, the wisdom that God gave you. You have to take charge. This is what was expected in the Garden of Eden. Adam, take charge. Of course, he got problems there in the garden. And the paradise became a place where he would sweat to have his food. But it was a paradise. That's what God wanted where man to live in the paradise. And you remember, when God created the person, he did not put him in a playground. Please remember this. He would have created a very good playground, or he would have created a very beautiful cinema hall where he put the man so that he keeps dancing throughout with his wife. But God created the man and put him in the garden. In the garden, we don't joke in the garden. You don't play football in the garden. There is a purpose of the garden. So Adam forgot that he was in the garden. So when we are leading people, we are in the garden. It is not business as usual. Because leadership also entails some calling, vocation. You are called to that office. I'm the executive secretary now of Justice and Peace. 14 years ago, I was not here. I was in Hoima. I was the executive secretary of the Justice and Peace of Hoima. But 14 years I have been here. You may hear that after a short time, I will not be here. But the moment I realize that I am here, I must do what God brought me to do here. Because I was not here, I will not be here, but now I am here. God has a reason why I am here. God has a reason why he made me executive secretary of Justice and Peace. So now, because God has a reason, that is why a leader now must always be constant in prayer. For me, I made it a point. Every time I am in office here in Zambia, I will go for 1 o'clock mass at the chaplaincy in the hospital in Zambia. I walk there. For me, a half past midday, I close my office. I go and meditate for at least 20 minutes alone as I'm waiting for mass. Then at 1 we have mass, and at 1:30 I come and join my people for lunch. Why have I had to do this? It's because my being here as executive secretary, I must constantly seek the reason why God gave me this responsibility. God, what would you like me to do better? Lord, it seems here I did not do well. Forgive me. Lord, what would you like me to do tomorrow for your people? These are the questions you ask yourself when you are a leader. So be constant in prayer, because leadership is a vocation. It is a call from God. You are called. My brother, John Mary Chisembo, you are now the head of laity of Hoima. I am part of the lay people you are leading. You have to constantly ask, but why you? It would have been me. But it's not me. It is you. And last time you were not there, we had Mr. Zondera Amon, our son. He was the head of laity. So you were not there, now you are there. So you constantly ask yourself, God, why have you put me in this office? What would you like me to do for your people? And you can best ask God through constant prayer. Of course, you have to be an exemplary leader. You should be an example. Not only in words. The way you appear, the way you talk, the way you behave in society. You must inspire. We must inspire others, that they will see their actions and give glory to God. We must inspire. If you are a leader who is fear, not respected, you have to sometimes in Bunyoro, we use them interchangeably. You are feared. You inspire right from the home. You come in the evening, and the children, they jump up and down. Daddy has come back when they see the lights of the vehicle of daddy. That if now you come home with your lights and children, with this child goes to the east, another one runs to the west, another one goes to the south. Leader, we must inspire right from home. We inspire in office, and we inspire in our places of leisure. When you are there, some of you play golf. Some of you play lawn tennis. When you are a lay leader playing lawn tennis, there should be a difference between that one who is not a leader. By the way you behave yourself, they see a difference. I used to play basketball with my sons and daughters, my sons in Hoima, at the Boma grounds. I would walk from home, come play basketball and go back, when I had not yet come here to Kampala. These days I'm more of a Kampala man than a rural man. I hope I will have the opportunity to go back and play my basketball. But the way you play, the words you use, you know, the young ones should be inspired by your presence. So this is the leader. Thank you very much, our beloved viewer. Thank you for loving our program, Responsible Citizenship. Thank you for loving our television. Thank you for viewing television. This good news for all of us. So love it, and please get glued to it. You know, glued. That is the right word I'm using. Get glued to our Catholic television, so that we can have a direct communication between me and you always. Let's have a short break, and we shall come back for yet another program. Welcome back from that commercial break. Thank you for viewing and loving Uganda Catholic Television. And thank you for loving our program, Responsible Citizenship, Responsible Leadership. Today, I am looking at what it means to be a lay leader in the Catholic Church. Leadership, lay leadership. I'm not an ordained priest, I am a layman. So we have very many lay leaders at the various levels. The bishops have trusted us, the lay people, and they have given us various responsibilities to act on their behalf. This one also, we have to keep remembering it in leadership as a lay leader. You act on behalf of the ordinary. The bishop ordinary, you act. So you should always remember you have a delegated function. For me here I have a chairman. There is a chairman of my commission. Archbishop John Baptist Odama is my chairman. I am his secretary. I am a secretary. I like that for the bishop's choice. Because in the real sense, I would be possibly a CEO of Justice and Peace, the Chief Executive Officer. But they said, no, you are a secretary. Although you have executive powers, they call me executive secretary, but I remain a secretary of the bishops. Imagine even the head of us is called a secretary general. He's a secretary, although he's a general. And yet he would be CEO, the chief executive officer. But for the Catholic Church, secretary general, because he also reports to the chairman of the conference. The chairman, our chairman is the Bishop of Kingdom, Right Reverend Anthony Zua. So he's the head of our Vasia. We are secretaries of the bishops. So you should, as a lay leader, you should never forget always to know that we are doing delegated functions. And when you are doing a delegated function, my word is always, there is no room for mistake. No room for mistake. When Bishop requested me to lead the people in preparation for Namugongo, I told them where I am. When you see me sitting here, the chair that is now mine, and you know, our bishop would, in the meetings, he would come and sit somewhere in the corner. So I am here. Imagine you are sitting here, but actually it is the bishop supposed to sit here. And the bishop is there looking at you. So this lay leadership is a little bit sensitive, because we are doing a delegated function. When I'm doing a delegated function, there is no room for a mistake. Because I'm taking myself as the Bishop of Hoima, because he has delegated some of the powers to me to help the people, the diocese, to help him, so that we can praise God very well on 3rd June. Now, I'm doing a delegated function. And I should always remember that this is a delegated function. Even what I am doing now, here, as Executive Secretary, I'm doing a delegated function. The bishops have delegated me. I've just come back from Karamoja. I've been there for the last 2 weeks, there in Karamoja. I moved all the way from Mudat. I came to Nakapiripirit. I went to Nabila Tuk. I came to Moroto. I went to Napak and slept in Kotido. So the following week, I started in Amudat. I came to Kotido. I went to Kabong. I went to Karenga and came back through Kitigum Gulu, the park, and then I slept in Hoima. But for 2 weeks I was there. One thing, they gave me a name, a Karamajong name. For you who are not Karamajong, prepare yourself well so that you repeat after me. Because my name is a little bit difficult. The Karamajong name is difficult. Okay, you repeat after me. Ngaren Ngi Karachuna. So that is one name. So I'm called Dr. Kiiza Emmanuel Aliba Amoti Ngaren Ngi Karachuna. That is my name in Karamoja. So I have a new name. But the name signifies a lot for my people, the Karachunas who gave it to me. You know, the Karachunas in Karamoja, those reformed warriors, are great friends of mine. They love me so much. I don't know why. Last time, they killed me a goat, roasted it for me, and we celebrated when I was there last time. I think we were in Kabong. They killed me a goat. For my very first time, to eat a goat with its skin. For us in Bunyoro, we remove the skin of the goat. But these young men roasted the goat with its skin, and I enjoyed. I felt so good. They did it themselves. And that is why they named me Ngaren Ngi Karachuna. That I go ahead of the Karachunas. I am the leader of the Karachunas. You know, being a leader of the reformed warriors. So I've come to love them so much. Even when I went last week in Kotido, they killed me a sheep, a ram. They roasted it by themselves. So in the evening, we had a very light moment. After visiting the leadership of Kotido, we had a very light moment in the evening, eating the sheep with its skin for my first time. The last time one of the Karachunas brought a gun and handed it over to me. By good luck, the DPC was next to me. He was nearby. So I passed it on very well, very quickly to the DPC. You know, my hands, I'd never held a gun in my life. For me, I chose a peaceful way of solving problems. Yeah, so I gave it. So I touched in my pocket and gave my sons who brought a gun for me an appreciation. And they were very happy. When we go there, we are like brothers and sisters. A lot of joy. So the 2 weeks I was meeting them and we were discussing, because I am their Ngaren, I am their leader, the one who goes before them and they follow. That's the name of Ngaren Ngi Karachuna. They love me so much. You know, leadership also involves, you know, touching that and experience new things, you know. I tell you, I'd never held a gun. But my Karachuna decided to bring it and put it in my hands. Ngaren, I'm tired of the gun. I'm no longer staying in the bush. I got the gun, gave it to the DPC, of Kabong. So leadership does not mean sitting in air-conditioned rooms and so on and enjoying, swagging up and down. No, leadership means holding a gun which I have never held. Leadership means eating a ram roasted with its skin, which I had never experienced. But it was so delicious. It was so tasty. Now I feel I should go back tomorrow. Possibly they will kill me, they'll kill for me another ram with its skin because I loved it. Yes. And in the morning they brought for me the head of the sheep, also roasted. They wanted me to have breakfast, a heavy breakfast of the head of the sheep. I'd never eaten that one now. You see. But leadership involves experiencing, having new experiences, living with the people, find them the way they are, live with them, work with them. If you can uplift them, then you become a good leader. Because I could see. Last time when I was there in Karamoja, I met all the Karachunas in the various districts. We agreed on 4 things. Number 1, return the gun to government, to the police, to the army. Return peacefully. Number 2, come from the bush. Because once you have the gun, you will not stay at home. You will fear for the army to arrest you. So tell all my Karachunas to come out of the bush, surrender the gun. Number 4, I told them, let us work together as a team of Karachunas. The young people, if you have to develop, it's good to start as a team, as an association, as a circle, so that you pool resources together and then you can have more. And the 4th, I told them, start saving some little money, so that when I come and I find that you are saving and you are doing business, now we shall talk. Let me tell you, fellow viewers, I was surprised when I went to the Karachunas of Kotido. By themselves, they had saved over 178 million in 1 year because the Ngaren told them save. They had saved over 178. These are young people. Oh my God. I was so happy to see that one. Then, when I went to the Karachunas of Amudat, Amudat is the last district as you enter Kenya. When you leave Nakapiripirit and you are going to Amudat, even the network changes from, you begin getting Safaricom of Kenya, Even the radios, they told me, they listen radios from Kenya. So that is Amudat. But by themselves, the Karachunas had saved over 102 million Uganda shillings. By themselves. Nabila took 52 million. Napak, 58 million. Oh, I felt so good. I felt so happy. Kabong, 71. I felt so happy. So now I immediately told them that we are going to organize them into circles. A circle per district. And then we go and help them to do more business. I want them to do more business so that there is peace in that area. I traversed the entire Karamoja, no bullet. No. I was not protected at all. I had my driver, Emma, the 2 of us in the car. We moved, freely. So I like that environment. And as leaders, especially you leaders of Karamoja, let us embrace peace. Let us embrace peace so that there is development. Pope Paul VI, the first Pope to visit Africa, he visited Uganda here. in 1969. He wrote to us a letter, he wrote to us an encyclical called Populorum Progressio. Populorum Progressio, on people's development. And in this, he said there is no development without peace. And the reverse is true. No peace without development. No. So now let's embrace peace. So as leaders, we have to identify a common problem where nobody should disagree. For me, I call it, because in primary school, I used to love mathematics so much, and I was always the best in mathematics. But when I joined secondary school, when I joined the minor seminary, I think the wisdom of mathematics ran away. But in primary, I used to be the best. So what I got there is that there should be the lowest common multiple. Do you remember that one for you who did P3? The lowest common multiple. So in leadership, and as we are leading people, there must be the lowest common multiple. That which unites all of us, that which we cannot disagree. That is the lowest common multiple. So I told my leaders of Karamoja, I told them, the lowest common multiple here is peace. And I told my Karachunas, we need to disarm not only the hands giving the gun, no, we have also to disarm our heads. You know, when you keep shooting, the bullets have a certain noise that enters into your head. So you need to disarm that noise from the head. And also you need to disarm the heart. Because when you keep shooting, the heart tells you what you are doing is not good, because there is inner conscience. So we have to disarm the head, we have to disarm the heart, and we have to disarm the hands. So this is what we are doing in Karamoja, to make sure people live in peace. That is the lowest common multiple, living in peace. I told people that at home, at my home in Hoima, I have no fence. My house is open. And I sit under the veranda with my wife and children. In the evening, sometimes we can leave even at 10 when the conversation is good. Can leave even at 10. But seated there and people are passing by. Some greet us, some don't want to greet us. They go in my compound, in my courtyard. No fence. Why? That is, I chose peace. It was a personal choice that I made. And that one, I will work for it. So, and I'm happy God has given me the mandate to work for peace. First, I was working for peace in Hoima Diocese. I was a justice and peace there for about 6 years, since 2004. Right after my wedding, the bishop appointed me. May his soul rest in peace, Bishop Deobi Abazaire appointed me as the secretary for justice and peace. And then the bishops saw what I was doing in Hoima. They said, come now to the national level. So for these 20 years, I've been in peace building, and it has got stuck in my head. So I will keep this peace building. Dear viewers, and especially you, the lay leaders, the responsibility that you have is tremendous. The other thing you have to remember, our lay leaders, for us in the Catholic Church, we lead with humility. You must be humble. We lead with humility. If you have to be a successful leader, you must be humble. Yes. You must be humble. Now, I told you I belong to the 9 o'clock Mass. That is, I belong to the 9 o'clock choir that animates in the Cathedral of Hoima. That's where I sing from. Even next Sunday, I will be there in the choir, singing with my people. Except these days, I don't have a lot of time for practice. So when they bring these new hymns, they switch me off. But when they bring the old hymns, my voice is the highest because those I know. And then I have also one trainer who keeps changing the melodies. You know, today when you are singing Musime Mukama Tena is sung like this. Then another day, by the time I come, they had changed it. For me, I'm singing the old one. Then I find myself out of order sometimes. But I try. When I am around, I go for practice. And so I sing there. Now, because I'm not involved so much, what I do, I support the choir in taking care of the children. You know, we have the children of the choir members. So I take charge of that. I am the babysitter. And the children know it. Whenever they see me, you'll find 10 of them coming to see me, coming to sit where I am. They know it. So I am a babysitter of the choir members. Because sometimes I cannot sing, so let me help them carry their babies. I also help them in supporting their activities that require finance. So those are the two that now I do more for the choir. So that anything that needs some finance, my contribution is always higher. Because for them they say, I'm paying for my sins. Because for them they go and make practice. For me, I'm in Kampala making money. So they say, once you are in Kampala, we know Kampala people have got money, come and contribute. So I pay for my sins. But now what I wanted to tell you, in that choir, when you look at the average, I'm gifted more in terms of property, finance, and so on, and education and positions. I'm gifted more. We have a number of choir members who are gifted. But there are more gifts that we have more than others. Now, the conductor, usually we have Robert and Innocent. These are young brothers of mine. So Innocent actually is a relative, is a son to me. But when he stands there to conduct and does this sign that the choir should stand, I don't say, but please, don't order me, I'm a prime minister of Bunyoro. No, you are in the choir, you must stand. When they say this Sunday we are wearing uniform, I must wear the uniform. However much I would like to be in my suit as a Katija, the prime minister of Bunyoro, or a chairman of the board of microfinance. No, I'm a choir member there. When it says stand, immediately I stand. But the boy who is ordering me, actually, I have more money than him. But I must stand because I belong to the choir. Now we have only one commander up there. Whoever goes there commands. We must be humble. We must be humble. Wherever you are as a lay leader, you must be humble. Sometimes as a chairman of the laity, a chairman of the laity of a parish, sometimes the bishop may send to you, to your parish, a priest of 1 year in priesthood as your parish priest. 1 year in priesthood, he is coming to be your parish priest. And for you, you are the chairman of the laity with all the books and so on, you know. You have seen it all, you have done it all. But he is your parish priest. Yes, as of now, he is your parish priest. Either he has 1 year or 10 years, or he is your parish priest. So humility in our service. We must serve with humility. My parish priest, what can we do now? My parish priest, is it okay that we can do this? Now the offertory here is not good. How can we make sure that we improve the offertory? So when I was in Kotido, I prayed from a parish called Loselang parish. That's where I prayed from with Father Charles. He was very vibrant. I loved that experience also, you know. When it came to tithing, you know, there was tithe. I tithed more than all the people in the church. And then they told me to greet the people. when I greeted the people, I said, the tithing we must improve. When I come back next year, we need, the 50,000 note has a chimpanzee on it. So in the Karamajongo, they call it a chom. I say, in the basket, we need only a chom, not 500. No. So now, yes, I accept, but now I have told you. So the next time I go, I will also pray from Loselang. And the same mass, I see whether there is a chom, because we advised each other on what we can do to have a chom being offered. A chom, that is a 50,000 note. And now, when we came out, the young ones were saying, hey, how are you, Achom? Now they called me a chimpanzee now. Achom. They were very happy to see that somebody can offer Achom 50,000, So we need to help each other, move together, And for us, the joy of the leadership here is the church is universal. So I was at the University of Notre Dame for about 4 months. I left here. My superior has allowed me to go and be a fellow there at the University of Notre Dame. When I entered, I became part of the Christian community. Every day, from 11 to midday, I was the one before the Blessed Sacrament. There you have a rota. So you do your hour. So from 11 to midday, I was always before the Blessed Sacrament, every day. There's a rota. So imagine I was part of the community. People loved me. They had never seen me. But why was I there? Because I'm a leader of the Catholic Church. We go to Nairobi, we meet the Messiah team of Justice and Peace. We are like brothers. This man comes from Malawi, another one from Ethiopia, but we are brothers. What has united us? The leadership in the church. So the leadership in the church is very, very interesting because we are not only local, we are broad. We are participating in the universal church. We are participating in we are in the apostolic church. Our viewers, I want to thank you. Thank you for loving Uganda Catholic Television. Thank you for watching our program. Until we meet again the next week. And in the next week, because I have to define these terms of ours, today I have defined leadership in the Catholic Church. Now, when I come next week, I will define responsible citizenship. What does it mean to be a responsible citizen? Thank you. We meet next week.